Hello everyone, ex-Wallkill Bethelite here, and I want to talk about a subject that has a phrase with a curse word in it, but the phrase has been around so long that I don't even feel like it's a curse word, really. The phrase ain't shit men. Ladies, we got to talk about this, because Jehovah's Witnesses, their doctrine is that women are the weaker vessel. And the JW doctrine, for the most part, is talking about just gender. If you are a female and I am a male, I am superior to you. Right? If you are a female, you're the weaker vessel compared to me. Ladies, we got to talk about this. Weaker compared to what? Women, weaker compared to what? Weaker compared to men that like little boys? You're weaker compared to a person that's a pedophile? Are you weaker compared to a man that can't keep his you-know-what in his pants? I grew up a Jehovah's Witness. I grew up in the organization. They're talking about weaker just because you're a female. Not talking about weaker because this male has control of his mental faculties, or this male has control over his sex drive, or this male is well established. No, you're supposed to be a weaker vessel just simply because this guy is a male. I grew up in the organization. We had a guy who was an elder in our congregation. This guy was so obviously gay. He was married to a woman. See, I grew up in Dayton. If people are watching from there, you probably know who I'm talking about. The guy was married to a woman, but was obviously gay, and he had been known for trying to solicit whenever young men would come over his house, spending the night for whatever reason. You see, because my parents had me spend the night over this dude's house. And this dude was just doing all this and doing all that, and you can't tell me it wasn't obvious this guy was gay. So ladies, are you the weaker vessel compared to a man who is more feminine than you are? Let's make this make sense. You're the weaker vessel. As far as I know of, his wife never really got into any trouble. But she's the weaker vessel in comparison to him, because this guy who was an elder who was gay was caught having sex in the park. I don't know if he was having sex in his car or in one of them bathrooms, but that is nasty. One of them bathrooms in the park, the public bathroom in the park, you in there having sex with some other man, and you got caught, and I don't know, somehow you got caught by the police. I think somebody called the police in there, being in there nasty. But the woman is the weaker vessel. I grew up in the organization. I know a lot of these men ain't shit. You're dealing with a lot of ain't shit men, but women are supposed to be the weaker vessel. There are men who aren't just flirting with other women while they're married. These are Jehovah's Witness men, the men that are supposed to be heads of the family. They're not just flirting with other women while married. They're flirting with other women in the family. I've seen this. I've heard of it. I've grown up in this. They flirt with women inside the family. As a kid, I grew up around a guy, another elder, supposed to be head of a family, a shepherd of a congregation. This guy We have a lot of women in our family. This guy was flirting with everybody. He was married into our family. He was flirting with everybody. A lot of the women were single. He was married. He would be over, and as a kid, I knew this was inappropriate. As a little kid, I knew something was up. This guy flirted with everybody in the family he could. This men who think with what is between their legs, that's who you're supposed to be weaker than. So this guy eventually, this elder who's flirting with everybody in our family and married to somebody in our family, eventually ends up getting a divorce. Probably should have been divorced a long time ago. And then he goes off to his third or fourth wife. A lot of these men can't even keep one wife. He goes off to his third or fourth wife, who he was sleeping with before they even got married. This is who you're weaker than? You're in an organization that had to go to trial in Australia because you had so many men having sex with little kids, pedophiles. You're weaker than this? Make this make sense. The men who are in the Jehovah's Witness organization, they are so many of them just ain't shit men that they make the Bible not even make sense. How are women the weaker vessel when oftentimes the women are the head of the household because they done had to kick the man out the house. Man out there flirting with women who are in his own family now. Once you get married, the women they're in the family now. Any woman outside of your marriage is supposed to be off limits, but definitely women who are inside your family. And this ain't the only one. This ain't the only one. I grew up a JW. A lot of my family are JW. A lot of my family are what I'm talking about. So this guy goes off to his fourth wife, the guy who the women are supposed to be weaker than this guy. And then another guy who's married to a person in our family. I wasn't around for this, but I hear he solicits sex from somebody in our family. One of the females in our family, he solicits sex from this person, and it gets out, and now I'm aware of it. But this is who you're supposed to be weaker than, ladies. You're weaker than guys like this. You're weaker than ain't shit men, which is what the Kingdom Halls are full of. So you got a guy who's married to somebody in my family. You got multiple of them, and they're trying to have sex with other women that's in the family. They ain't even got enough sense to try to do this stuff with people outside the family. And the guy is known for being a freak. I have a friend that I talk to, and she's a woman, so she notices this stuff, that whenever he tries to give her a hug, he tries to touch her butt. Whenever he tries to give her a hug, he tries to squeeze her in so he can feel her breast. This guy's a straight up freak from everything I'm hearing. But this is head of a family. This is a Jehovah Witness. This is what women are supposed to be weaker than. This is what women are supposed to be submissive to. Is men who just ain't shit. Men who are having sex with other men in the park. This is on record. There's plenty of witnesses I could pull up that I could talk to that know about this. This is who y'all are supposed to be weaker than. Y'all are weaker than guys who make less money than you. Like, you're weaker than, and it all don't come down to the money. But ladies who are Jehovah's Witnesses, this is the doctrine. You're weaker just off the fact that you're a female, not because this guy has any kind of sense. Kingdom Hall's filled with guys And if you're a Jehovah's Witness woman, you know that are borderline retarded, like there's something wrong with them. Are you a weaker vessel compared to them too? You're a weaker vessel compared to the guys who are married to women but are homosexuals. You're a weaker vessel compared to the guys who sleep with little kids, touch them inappropriate. You're a weaker vessel compared to guys who are married but out trying to have sex with other women. You're a weaker vessel in comparison to guys who are borderline retarded. And these guys get to give talks. The women, they get to just give a demonstration or something. The women can't give a talk. But the guy in your congregation who's borderline retarded, I'm talking about literal, he's mentally not there, he gets to get up on a stage and sound just like Forrest Gump on the stage, but he gets to get up there and you don't. He gets privileges as a male and you don't, and he's borderline retarded. Half of these guys at Bethel, they're taking advantage of the fact that they're at Bethel so they can get younger women. It's been going on for forever. Most of these guys think with what's between their legs. These guys go to Bethel for the sole purpose of trying to get a female. They're going there just to have these guys as ministerial servants, just to get a female. It doesn't mean that they're more spiritual. The only reason they're doing it is to get a woman, is to get a girl. They walk up to a girl at the assembly and say, hey, I'm a ministerial servant. What does that mean? That means I want you to consider dropping them panties for me. Why? Because I've been carrying a microphone for a year. I mean, really, when this guy says, hey, I'm a ministerial servant, what does that mean? That means he's probably just carried a microphone for a year or for 6 months. Or his dad is an elder, so of course they made him a ministerial servant. It doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean you're a weaker vessel than him, literally. Some of these women have more sense than half the guys in the congregation. How many ladies have told me that they go to the hall with these guys who are elders and married and they act a certain way at the hall, then outside of the hall, they're trying to hit on them. They're trying to have sex with them. Ladies, you're starting to figure out. All of this is about sex for the most part. These men are at the hall because they want to have sex with you. Like that's the whole purpose of them getting these little titles for the most part. It's because they think that the smallest thing will impress you, and then you go and marry them. And they get to be the stronger vessel above you. It's crazy. I've grown up in it, so of course I've grown up around these type of guys. I've grown up around guys that just ain't shit. Like they ain't nothing. Like they're the typical guy that, you know, their kids are gonna grow up without them because they ain't shit. And these are the guys, you know, that these women feel are above them. I want the ladies to comment down below, make this make sense. Heard gave a talk, and Mike and Kim got that talk, and they said that he mentioned such and such from Bethel was single. Why does Heard do that? Because he feels women are going to fall for this stuff. Why does Heard do that? Because half of the reason why they're in the position that they're in is to get women. These aren't specifically spiritual people. These guys at Bethel are trying to get women as young as they can get them. Comment down below. Let me know what you think about all this. How are Jehovah's Witness women the weaker vessel compared to a bunch of ain't shit men? Comment down below. Let me know what you think. 937-789-4029. X-Wall Kill Bethelite signing out.